Howdy.
Senator Holster. Senator Halster. Senator Hoganson.
Howdy.
Senator Pulliam.
Howdy.
Senator Thornburg. Senator Thornburg. Senator Atnick.
Howdy.
Senator Sinning. Senator Sinning. Senator McBeck.
Howdy.
Senator Smith. Oh, excuse me. Senator Thorwani. I apologize. That's two. Senator Davenport.
Howdy.
Senator Marenko.
Howdy.
Senator Caroline Bower.
Howdy.
Senator Coleman. Senator Coleman. Senator Yagi.
Howdy.
Senator Whittington. Senator Whittington. Senator Strickland.
Howdy.
Senator Bowen.
Howdy.
Senator Smith. Senator Smith. Senator Rousseau.
Howdy.
Senator Petit.
Howdy.
Senator Vazquez.
Howdy.
See, work on that. Senator Walker.
Howdy.
Senator Hyde.
Howdy.
Senator Usher. Senator Cagle.
Howdy.
Senator Lacey. Senator Lacey. Senator Bell.
Howdy.
Senator Pitts.
Howdy.
Senator Caperton.
Howdy.
Senator Sims.
Howdy.
Senator Thomas. Senator Thomas. Senator Russell. Senator Russell. Senator Tucker.
Howdy.
Senator Griffin.
Howdy.
Senator Sudan.
Howdy. Sudan.
Senator Hassan.
Howdy.
Senator Becerra.
Howdy.
Senator Ibrahim. Senator Ibrahim. Senator Albright.
Howdy.
Senator Thompson.
Howdy.
Senator Herman. Senator Herman. Senator Sanford. Senator Sanford. Senator Slacker.
Howdy.
Senator Rogers.
Howdy.
Senator Bolmer.
Howdy.
Senator Franklin.
Howdy.
Senator Horn.
Howdy.
Senator Humanek. Senator Humanek. Senator Egebrecht. Senator Egebrecht. Senator Timmerman. Senator Timmerman. Senator Messer.
Howdy.
Senator McDuffie.
Howdy.
Senator Parsons.
Howdy.
Chair Grossenbauer.
Howdy.
Senator Rhodes.
Howdy.
Senator Anderson.
Howdy.
Senator Hollis. Oh, yeah, that's right. Senator Murkowski. Senator Murkowski. Senator Bramlett.
Howdy.
Senator Crumman.
Howdy.
Senator Grouch. Senator Ledger. Senator Ledger. Senator Esparza.
Senator Lomax. Senator Lacey was here, she just didn't hear you. Oh, fine.
Speaker, I'm sorry. It's Speaker Womack
Speaker Lomax.
and Senator Bell, you're out of order. We'll now move on to the prayer, or excuse me, the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Dear Lord, we ask you this day to remember the importance of this meeting. It is our final member of this semester. We realize that we have many goals to set, many challenges to still overcome, but we thank everybody in this body for their work. We hope that you assure them and bring them comfort over the time that they have met challenges, they have overcome obstacles, and that you keep everyone safe this winter holiday as we all enjoy time with our families or abroad. We ask that you take care of us, keep us mindful of our presence, and keep us always humble. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much, Speaker Womack. All right, we'll now move on and deviate from the agenda due to time constraints to Dr. Stanley and the VP for Diversity, excuse me, VP and Associate Provost for Diversity.
Howdy, Ags.
Howdy!
As you heard, my name is Christine Stanley. I'm the Vice President of Social Coast University here in Aggieland, and I'm also Professor in College Education and Human Development in the class of 1990. Thank you. I'm here today just to briefly share with you something that's very exciting that's going on in our office. And also, it's in the vetting process, and that is a 2009 diversity plan that's going to affect all of us here at Texas A&M University. And in particular, I'm here today to talk to you, the students, particularly Student Senate, to tell you a little bit about the plan, but I think you have the greatest opportunity as students to impact the 2009 diversity plan in terms of climate. So I'm going to do a brief PowerPoint presentation for you in a few minutes, and then I'm going to open up for some questions, because as you heard, I've got to leave here, try to get out here by 7:30 if I can. Okay, first of all, let me just back up here a second. If you're not familiar with my office, this is just a brief overview of my charge here at Texas A&M. First and foremost, I am assisting the president and the provost in holding the university accountable in terms of making sure that Texas A&M University is one of the most welcoming places that there can be in the state of Texas and beyond. I'm also facilitating the assessment and monitoring of the efforts or progress in diversity in terms of faculty, staff, and students. And lastly, working with students, faculty, and staff, working with other VPs, including the Vice President of Student Affairs, General Weber, and all the deans on campus, department heads, and the leadership of faculty, staff, and student government bodies. So that's why I'm here tonight to talk to you. So the 2009 Campus Diversity Plan is anchored around 3 overall goals: accountability, climate, and equity. So you might say, what is accountability? Accountability, one of the questions is who's responsible for diversity at the university, and one of the things that I argue is everyone here at Texas A&M, including everybody in this room, all the faculty, all the administrators, and all the staff here, we all have a responsibility to make sure that Texas A&M is one of the greatest places there is to be. And the bottom line, in simplest terms, in terms of our diversity and where we're headed, is to make sure that this environment here on this campus is one of the most welcoming places for all our students. You might be interested to know that one of your senators, Jess Fields, came to talk to me over the summer. Jess, we talked and had a good conversations, and one of the things that we were talking about is the campus climate, and more importantly, how students like yourselves, the student senators, can also help us in terms of realizing our diversity goals for the university. So one of the things that we're going to be doing over the course of the next few years is taking a deep and broad look at structures, processes, and policies, and more importantly, holding all of us accountable and reward units and individuals for demonstrating their current standing and plans for diversity. We're also going to monitor our progress. As I said before, one of the key things, if you look at accountability, climate, and equity, one of the things that I think Texas A&M that often hurts us sometimes in the press, as you all know, I'm going to tell you this, is how well people perceive that they're experiencing the university here. It also affects us in terms of retention, and it also affects us in terms of recruitment. So we're going to be looking at the environment and hopefully looking at diversity, individual ideas and identities, and making sure that we're treating everyone here at the university equitably in a climate that fosters success and achievement for all of us, but in particular now what I'm talking about is for all our students here at Texas A&M. So what does this entail? This is going to entail leadership at the individual level, at the interpersonal level, at the group level, and also institutional. And one of the things that we're going to be asking units on campus, and by units, what I mean is all the colleges, human resources, student affairs, athletics, you name it, in terms of units on campus, is looking at how well are we doing in the area of variety of diversity areas, looking at gender, race, ethnicity, national origin of our students, staff, faculty, administrators, with respect to aspirant peers. For example, one of the things I will tell you, a week and a half ago, I was on the campus at the University of Kansas, and there was a meeting of all the Big 12 universities' chief diversity officers. And one of the things that I was talking with these chief diversity officers at all the Big 12 universities, surprisingly enough, is they were very excited in terms of what we are embarking on here at Texas A&M University in terms of our campus diversity plan. This particular plan, what I'm sharing with you tonight, interim president Bowen Lofton has seen it, likes it. Interim provost Karen Watson has seen it. All the deans of the academic colleges have seen it. The vice presidents, the provost administrative team. I've also met with the graduate student council. I met with Colin Lovelace and SGA, and I'm meeting with several groups on campus. This plan has also been seen by system council, by the system, to see if there are any legal implications, and I will tell you that one of the feedback that we got is that it's a good plan, it's very comprehensive, and in fact, this plan was shown to other universities who are not in the Big 12 and who are also aspiring peers. And one of the feedback that we got was if Texas A&M is successful in accomplishing the areas of this diversity plan, we could be a leader. So this is what I'm excited about, and for all of us here. So that's where we're headed. In terms of accountability, one of the things that that's part of accountability that's inherent in this plan is that the Vice President of Corporate Diversity, which is me, will award money to units who excel in areas of the plan, and this money will be added to the units base funding, and the size of the allocation is going to be based on the total available merit pool for that year, and will be approximately 10% of what's available. And this will be done in consultation with, some of you might be familiar if you don't know this, in 2006, there was a Council on Climate for Diversity. That Council on Climate for Diversity is going to be reconstituted, and it has 25 individuals on that council, including students who are serving on that council, as well as faculty, staff, administrators, former students, and also members of the Bryan College Station community, including individuals who have lived here for a while and those who are graduates of Texas A&M, former students who are serving in the corporate sector. What do we mean by climate? What is the campus environment like for all students at Texas A&M? Notice I said all Aggies at Texas A&M. What is the campus environment like for all staff at Texas A&M? What is the campus environment like for all faculty? What is the environment like for administrators? And more importantly, what does the Bryan College Station community look like? One of the things that I'm a strong advocate of, and my philosophy is, we cannot continue to talk about these issues at Texas A&M and be a world-class university and ignore what's happening outside in the Bryan College community. Because you know and I know, when our students, when Aggies leave the university and go to their apartment or go wherever, whether it's Bryan or College Station or even on Northgate, how people are treated also affects what goes on campus in terms of their learning. So we are going to look at missions and goals of the university and units
freeforums.org. And anyone can create an account there and just post your ideas and just post anything you want to talk about and keep in touch. So we'll see if it works. Thanks and gig 'em.
Gig 'em.
Next, we have Executive Vice President J.D. Robertson.
Howdy, Eggs.
Howdy.
Today, I come before you being open and honest. I want to just speak to you freely this evening. Today, I spoke with Colin, SVP Loveless. I got some great critical feedback from him about my job and my job performance. There's this perception that I'm not doing my job and I'm not taking initiative. And that bothers me. I want to do great at this job. I want to do the best that I can at this job. And that bothers me that people aren't seeing that or aren't, feeling that way. And so it's not I come to you and ask for your help. I seriously mean that. I'm going to pass around this clipboard. I would love to hear your feedback about what you think I could do better in my position. If you have advice for me, please put that down. Please be open and honest with me. Tell me anything that you have on your mind about my position, about what you think that I could do better at. I will address all the concerns on this paper, every single one of them at this meeting. I assure you of that. If you want to put your name, you can. You don't have to. If you have, communicate better. Please tell me how I can communicate better. Please just be open and honest with me because I'm being open and honest with you. I apologize if I have failed you. I will work hard. I give you my word about that, and I promise you I will work hard for you every single day because I love this university and I care about the students here. So let's have a great Senate meeting tonight. I'll pass around this clipboard. Thanks and gig 'em.
Gig 'em.
All right, next we have Senator Mari Franke.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Well, this is my last time to do this, and it's kind of weird. I was trying to think a couple weeks ago what I wanted to leave you with. This is really pathetic. But anyway, I don't have a profound speech for you. I only have two hopes that I want to leave with you. And one of them is that I hope that you always uphold our core values inside and outside of this body. Always as an Aggie, always as a senator. And two, I just really hope that you always consider yourself a servant for the university before you consider yourself a leader of the university. That's all I have. So I'm going to get to our core values and our mission statement, and we'll get on with our meeting. Our mission statement: the Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and our communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And those core values are loyalty, leadership, excellence, selfless service, integrity, and respect. Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, Speaker Womack.
Hi guys, I know I violated the rules. I shouldn't speak after Mark, but there's a very good reason. It's rare that I'm actually nervous before I speak to you guys, but I'm nervous. I wrote a resolution, and it's to thank Senator Mari Franke. Can you stand up? It's the thanking Mari Franke for standing up and saying the value and mission statement every time. I know that it seems like sometimes you can just pass right over the mission statement, but it is extremely important that gets read, and we always remember it. So, I don't know who's going to read it in the future, but hopefully someone will come up and let me know. It's not going to be me, talk too much. But if you guys want to read the mission statement, please come up and let me know. But make sure that you want to do that. But I just really, really appreciate Senator Franke, your work as CHA, your work as a senator, and your work as being a good moral compass for all of us. And everybody just remembers from now on when you think the mission statement, thank Mari Franke, but also remember what it means. So thanks and gig 'em.
Moving on, we're going to deviate again from the agenda and go to committee reports. Would the officers please come up? Do you all have any updates or announcements? Go for it.
Thanks, always got some.
Real quick, we're doing further investigation in UTI MCO.
Senator Markowski is doing a great job in his research in there as well, so we're looking forward to that, as well as I'm going to go ahead and let my committee members know. Committee meeting this Sunday canceled. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and basically we're going to get prepared. For those of you all who are registered in this county, we're going to try and encourage y'all to get deputized to register people to vote for this upcoming January, so we can get registered as many students for the primary in March, as well as municipal elections in May. Thanks again.
Howdy!
Howdy!
Wish I could say I was doing something as dastardly exciting as a further investigation, but I can't. So, I am not as nice as Dick. We will still have a CA meeting next week. Because we couldn't have one last week, and we couldn't have one the time before that. So it's just been kind of rough for us with our scheduled time. But that's okay. It's not a required meeting. I will send it out to you. It'll have a Christmas theme. And if you came to the first meeting that we had, which was non-official, we were under a pavilion, we had some snackaroos, we had some drinks, we sang Kumbaya, Willie Nelson, so it's fun, right? So I will send you an email. If you're not on the chair@gmail list, please let me know. Jacob.
Remarkable. Oh, schedule's up. Check your email. Schedule for next Sunday. We're not having one on mustard. Don't worry about it.
Howdy guys.
Howdy.
I just had a meeting with my appropriations committee. Everybody showed up. Pretty good. We have 3 appeals. You're going to see that in open session. I'm writing the bill as we speak. Hopefully you guys will approve of the cut downs and the additions that we made.
Woo. Any questions for the officers?
Wait a minute, you're singing.
So we will continue on with the authors of SB 09F20, the reinforcement bill. Please come up.
Looks like.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, let's wait until then. Yeah, I'm going to table this.
Right. Next, SB 09F27, office space for international students bill.
Just one second.
Howdy!
Are we going to the dentist's office or what? We've got a bunch of these chairs sitting right out here, and they're just sitting there. And man, they are ugly. I mean, this is like, I went to get my contacts again this year, earlier, and I sat in a chair like this waiting. Not only is it uncomfortable, it encourages bad hygiene. It's a bad chair. Now that I've got your attention on that silly opening note, we have a serious problem. As Kyle and I will tell you, and unfortunately Sidorf, who really brought this to the attention of the Senate, is not here to explain it, but we have a problem whereby international student organizations, some of the largest organizations on campus, the largest, if you count out the CORE and the Catholic Students Association, are being left without office space. These are important organizations for the diversity of campus. You heard Dr. Stanley speak earlier. They're important for the culture of A&M to make sure that we welcome all students. They're critically important to ensure that Student Government Association is connected to the students, because many of these organizations, in some way or another, are involved in the Student Government Association activities. They galvanize their membership to be interested and involved in the vote. And so we need this office space bill. This bill is a support bill that hopefully we can get this done. We have extra cubicle material, the university does, that they've taken out. If you remember, there used to be more cubicles out here. It's very easy to put that in there. We can take these chairs out. We can go move them into a dentist's office where they belong. I'm sure the health center could use it, because this is the kind of chair that you see in the health center. And we need some more office space. So
The reason why, without the theatrics, but I do appreciate the attention, we don't want to use up, I mean, we still want to use a serviceable space back there. We want to compromise. Those chairs, the pretty ones, are used by students day and day to study, do kind of thing. But you do see the vast majority of them being unoccupied for the majority of the day. So using a good, I said majority about 8 times, but using a large portion of that space back there to give some of the larger organizations, or at least all of the organizations, a mailbox at the very minimum. The reason why Siddharth was very interested in doing this, I don't know if you guys know, the international students have an orientation very early in the spring semester that all the students who are coming in from abroad, they attend, and basically we want to be able to point them to a place and say, hey, if you need help, or if you need to get connected, or if you need to be put in touch with somebody from your particular group and you feel like you want to be a part of that international body here as a microcosm of Texas A&M, this is your home, this is the place you need to be, this is the place where you can find somebody to help you at any given time. And it's really important to have that office space. We talk with groups, they really do need it. We're looking at a lot of options. If there's a great response, we're going to use more areas than just talking with facilities here in Coldest, using not just that, but looking at other places around campus. But basically the bill is just getting us up, and the executive getting us up, finding space, and finding workable space for these international student organizations.
Now, there's one thing I want to add, because of the concern I heard from a couple of very good senators in here about how this specifically talks about international student organizations, and how that might be a concern that we're specifically dealing with international student organizations. The way this actually came up is that Siddhartha Rani came up to a couple of us and said, you know, because he's the international student liaison, so that's what he's thinking about. He said, you know what, these international students, these organizations don't have any place to go. So we are representing his concerns for those constituents. If you have concerns about other areas, other areas of our community that need such needs filled, then goodness sakes, we can introduce a bill for that too. This is a specific concern that was raised, and that's why it's appropriate to do this. I'm not the kind of person who's going to single out a group of students, but this is appropriate because it's a specific concern of a specific group of constituents.
All right, thank you very much. We're now moving to 5 minutes of Q&A, starting with Senator Russo.
Wait, my question.
All right, next, Chair Dick.
Chair Dick, External Affairs Chair, obviously not that kind of chair though. My question is in regards to office space. Where exactly are y'all looking in regards to the Coldest building? Are y'all looking out immediately in that area right out there with all the chairs? And if so, how would you, are you planning to place, where are you going to get the cubicle space exactly?
The cubicle space comes from, Kyle, you may have something to add to this, but what Steve and I talked about, and we even took, is Rusty Thompson here? We took Rusty Thompson out there and said, you know, why couldn't this be done? He said, they could. We have the cubicle materials, I don't know what you'd call it, those temporary walls. We have them in storage because they moved them out to create that space. But basically, when they tore the MSC down, they were concerned the students didn't have enough meeting areas, so they figured, we'll carve one out here at Coldest. But who the heck's going to go back here to study and meet? Very few people do. Some people in SGA do, some of the committees do. But you don't see too many students out there. And you also have to look at the opportunity cost of it. The opportunity cost of having those chairs out there, besides the fact that they're ugly as heck, is that you can't have those cubicles. Well, where are you going to put them? You're going to put them out by the seal in the middle of Coldest in the foyer? For goodness sakes, you can't put them in the parking garage. I mean, you might get a little open air out there, but you know that's just not going to work. So this is the most sensible way to do it. And yes, it is very feasible, and we have confirmed that it's feasible and that it can be done 100%, and it won't cost a single dime of student money. In fact, I offered to go out there and move the cubicles myself. Perhaps you would join me, Dave.
It's not the only option we're looking at. Like, we're not trying to make a vendetta on just dentist chairs, but we're just trying to get international students workable office space. If that's one of the options, we'll pursue it. But basically, anywhere we can find a workable space.
Thank you.
All right, next, Senator Pulliam.
Senator Pulliam, Coles, I was wondering if this bill is asking for them to have the opportunity to rent office space or if it's asking for free office space.
This is asking for the same office space that any student organization who is officially registered with this university is entitled to.
Point of information, Madam Speaker. Do current student organizations have to pay money to rent the office space out in the Coldest area? Are there?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
Could I have a brief follow-up?
We have a couple more people to get to.
So basically, to give them the ability to get that space. That's it.
Thank you.
Senator Caroline Bowen.
Caroline Bowen, College Education. How and who are going to decide which organizations get these spaces? Because I know we have a lot of organizations that need these spaces.
Basically what we do is, there's a current process right now that's outlined from student activities based on need and cube usage. Members sign in when they use cubes, and we would put these cubes in based on percentage, meeting with the faculty here in Coldest and meeting with the individual organizations who feel like they have the largest amount of need and feel like they're going to have the most foot traffic in these cubes. Basically, we don't want showpieces. We want people who need workable office space, and we'd be more than happy to work with the executive branch, with people who are seeking these cubes, and with student activities to make sure that the groups that need them the most are having their needs met.
Next, Senator Albright.
Howdy, who are y'all right off campus? Have any of these international groups actually requested spaces in Coldus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Darth's met with Persian, Indian, and Mexican. I don't know if Mexican, but I know for a fact Darth met with, I believe, 4 of the other two states. Darth's met with a bunch of them.
Well, the India Association, for example, has something like 1,000 members. I mean, we're talking about reasonable groups getting this. You know, we're not talking about some 5-member group. I mean, if they want to, they can apply. They probably won't get it. But the India Association doesn't have office space. They have 1,000 members. It's half the Corps of Cadets. I mean, for goodness sakes. So we need something for these people. And
Okay. Senator Bell.
Senator Bell, College of Liberal Arts. So these guys have requested it. We have the space for it. We have the supplies for it. I'm assuming General Weber's the one who's going to get this ball rolling. Have you guys spoken with him yet? What did he say about it?
It's actually, we'd be working with the director of staff here in student activities. General Weber, I mean, he could deal with it, but we'd be looking with working with Dr. Stock and Rusty Thompson.
I mean, is it going to their desk, or whose desk is
We
it
don't
going
have a
to?
separate follow-up.
Sorry. Free follow?
Yes.
So it's going to their desk, or is it
Yes,
going
it's going
to
there.
Weber's desk?
It's going to Dr. Stack and Rusty Thompson. I mean, basically, any of the director of student activities could make the decision.
this area is controlled by the Department of Student Activities for the most part. Most of the facilities here fall under student activities.
We have 2 more people with questions. The speaker would now advise that we extend questioning by a period of 2 minutes.
Moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you very much. All right, Senator Bolden.
I actually withdraw my question.
Wow, okay. Senator Cagle.
Senator Cagle of Russ. I guess the first part of my question is kind of answered by Senator Albright. But I guess the second part would be how many organizations, I guess, so far are we looking at providing cubicle space?
Once we meet with Siddharth, he's going to start going to the international organizations, specifically working in tandem. Hopefully, Colin will extend the olive branch for help there, finding out the need, and then being able to assess that with the available resources, obviously giving priority to those who have the most need.
Just to clarify, you said how many, right?
Yeah, I suppose I was first going to ask who would anybody to ask for, and there's
As many as we can.
It's reasonable, I think, to expect, given the allocation of office space out there, if we were to use that space as an example, that we might be able to get between 6 to 10 organizations. It'd have to be an even number because of the way they're structured. But we might be able to get as many as 10 organizations or something like that. I mean, just a guesstimate. But that's what Rusty Thompson kind of came to a conclusion with Siddharth and I, as we went out there and raided those chairs in the area.
All right, Senator Bolden now has a question.
Volner, off campus. I know that there's a large need and that this is a great opportunity, but are there other buildings, since we do have the resources, that we could put more space in?
Rusty Thompson and I actually spoke. There are several other buildings around campus that's a possibility. It's working with the staff in those buildings, trying to make sure that too. But again, this bill doesn't specifically highlight just that area. That's just one of the examples in Coldus. Like, we want to do everything we can to find the workable office space. I mean, obviously, you know, the very top floor of the storage area arena isn't something we're looking at, but anything around central campus that has good access to, definitely something we're open to suggestions for.
But Coldus is preferred for the simple reason that this is where, precisely, the leadership organizations on campus concentrate here. And for some of the largest organizations on campus that happen to be international student organizations to lack space in the same place as small fish organizations with 30 or 40 members get space, just seems unconscionable. So we would prefer that if possible they have the space here. Thank you.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. We'll now move into a period of debate. All those in favor of this resolution, Chair Dick.
I move to amend
There,
this bill.
you don't have it. You are not called on.
Howdy. Real quick, this bill basically just is a good idea. Siddharth did a lot of hard work, speaking with organizations, speaking with international organizations, recognizing need. The international students organizations came to him and said of their need. frankly, we need to work with these organizations because they are just so large and they have such a vast need, and they need to be centrally located, and if preferable, obviously here in Coles. We have that space, we have the availability, and instead of it going to waste and just sit out there, we need in these times where we have, as little space as possible, but when we find free space and a need, we need to compact it and make sure that it's going to good use. Thank you.
I move to amend this bill.
Alright, let's hear it. Added a whereas 6. Coldest was a building built for the use of students and student organizations. Next, enacted 4, as long as any student organizations need space for meetings, comma, offices or functions, comma, they should have the priority for all floor space in Coldest.
Yeah, it's just.
All right, speaking for this amendment, once it gets written up, or do we have a second for this amendment? Do we have a second for it? All right, we have a second. All right, we're now moving to a period of debate. Does anyone want to debate for this?
Point of personal preference, could you actually type the amendment out before we begin debate and/or reread it?
I can reread it.
I don't think.
You can see the whereas 6 for the whereas 6 enacted 4 is as long as any student organizations who need space for meetings, comma, offices or functions, comma, they should have the priority for all floor space in the Coldest building. All right, go for it.
Scott Bowen, College of Engineering. The reason I'm making this amendment is because I think this bill, kind of like Jess said, is a little bit too narrow in its focus. And I'll still vote for it either way, but because I think it is a good bill. But I think there are a very limited number of cubes in the area out there. And I mean, international students need that space. But a lot of other organizations need that space too. We have 800 or so recognized student organizations on campus and about 30 cubes out there. So I think as long as there is space in this building for people, I think it should be for the use of students, and that as long as any student needs space to meet or do anything, this building should be here for them.
All right, thank you very much. Chair Fields.
Jess Hill's Constituency Affairs. At first, this looks innocuous. I'm like, what the heck? And Dick's like, no, it's fine. What's wrong with this? I'll tell you what's wrong with this. It dilutes the purpose of the bill. If you have a constituency that comes to you and says, hey, I have a problem, and then we take that bill to the Senate, and then we basically say, well, that constituency's problems matter, but you know what? Let's widen this to be something else. This is specifically dealing with a particularly significant part of the student body that presently does not have this sort of representation. And if you don't see where I'm going with that, then let's take the extreme case. What this amendment says is that we support any student organization. Any student organization. An organization of 3 people. Perhaps one that has some relevance in my life, the Cigar Club of Texas A&M is a club. Did you know this? They have a club. They go and smoke cigars. They would be entitled to the same office space in this area that the 1,000-member India Association, which puts on almost more international programs and brings more students into the A&M fray than any other organization, they would be entitled to the same thing. There has to be a little bit of flexibility here for the people who make these decisions to make these decisions. And for us to simply flat out say that we support every student organization to have the same amount of priority undercuts the process by which organizations get that space. If Cigar Club wants that space, if Cigar Club wants that space, they can go apply for it. So can India Association. But this didn't come from Cigar Club. It didn't come from any organization, actually, except for specifically the international student organizations, which are largest on campus. We write bills to point out specific needs, and this one is pointing out a specific need, and this amendment dilutes that. I urge you to vote against the amendment for that reason.
Thank you very much. Senator Boyd.
Justin Pulliam, Coles. When I came to the Senate meeting, I came to represent all students and all student organizations, and there's a supply and demand problem here. There's a lot of demand for cubes and office space outside of this room. And I think what this amendment is trying to say is that we see that there's this demand problem, and we should address this demand problem by finding more space, preferably in this building, but finding enough space and tell everyone on campus, not just some people, but everyone, inclusive of all organizations, even if just the minimum number of 3 people to make an organization want space, 3 people should be able to have space, as long as we're going to offer space to any organization. So we can sit here and pass legislation for each organization that comes up and needs space, and I agree that the international student groups do need space, but there's a lot of people that do need space as well, like RHA, political organizations and such. So I think as a Senate, we should work to provide or to meet this need better. And I yield back to Senator Bowen. Senator Bowen.
Just one more thing I'd like to say. I think Chair Fields misunderstands the purpose of this bill. This bill is not saying that every organization should have like the Cigar Club should have the same priority for getting office space as the Indian Student Organization. I mean, obviously the clubs that need it most should still get it. I'm just saying, as long as there are any clubs who can demonstrate a really an urgent need for office space, then they should be able to have it in the Colas building, because the Colas building is a building for students. And with that, I yield the floor.
Thank you very much. Speaker Womack.
Howdy guys. I don't think that we probably need to worry too much more about the amendment. We can just kind of move on to the other text of the bill. My only real thing is here, I think that this issue is really something that needs to be looked at, not necessarily as a footnote of another bill, but either as a consultation with student activities or as another bill entirely. Like, if we want to examine the ability for student organizations to get cube space, we really need to do more research as far as the overall process, not just addressing a specific constituency's need, which was brought to us. I mean, Jess's point is correct. When somebody says, we want help from Student Senate, I mean, my reaction is, help those people. That's what we're here to do. And when students, several thousand organizations or several thousand members of organization come and ask us for help, we need to address that concern. But Senator Bowen is correct. This is a concern. We need to examine it as far as student activities' overall policies for how somebody gets a cube and maintains office space, of which I am not an expert. I think that we need to do research, we need to examine the process, and we need to work with consultation with the director staff and our advisors to understand this process completely before we address it holistically. Holistically. We can examine international students need office space, and we can help them. But as far as the entire process, I think we really need to do more research. We need to meet with our advisors, and we need to understand the policies that are already in set before we try and change them.
Madam Speaker, I move the previous question.
No need, there's no one else to speak on it, but thank you. Chair deems debate one-sided, so therefore we do not have to speak. We don't have to move on with this. We're now moving into a period of voting, so all those in favor, please say aye of this amendment.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
This clearly does not pass. We'll now move back into a period of debate on the bill, starting with anyone opposed to this piece of legislation. Seeing no opposition, the chair deems debate one-sided and will now move into a period of vote. Period of voting. I will now entertain a motion to do roll call vote.
Make a motion to change this and suspend the rules, make this and all other votes a roll call vote.
So moved.
We need 1 second. So we got it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay.
Anybody wonders why we still do this for voting? Chair Simmons.
4.
Chair Wilson. Chair Wilson. Chair Day. Chair Day. 4. Chair White. Chair White. Chair Fields.
4.
Senator Robertson. 4. Senator Holster. Senator Houser. Senator Oakerson. 4. Senator Pulliam.
4.
Senator Thornburg.
4.
Senator Atten. 4. Senator Sinning. Senator Simmons, Senator McFadden.
Four.
Senator Smith. Senator Smith, Senator Thorne. Senator Davenport.
4.
Senator Mariko.
4.
Senator Caroline Bowen.
4.
Senator Coleman. Senator Coleman. Senator Yagi.
4.
Senator Whittington. Senator Whittington. Senator Strickland. 4. Senator Scott Bowen.
4.
Senator Smith. Senator Smith. Senator Rousseau.
4.
Senator Petit. 4. Senator Vizquez.
4.
Senator Walker. 4. Senator Hyde.
4.
Senator Usher. Senator Cagle.
4.
Senator Lacy.
4.
Senator Bell.
4.
Senator Pitts.
4.
Senator Caperton.
4.
Senator Sims.
4.
Senator Thomas. Senator Thomas. Senator Russell. Senator Russell. Senator Tucker.
4.
Senator Griffin. Senator Sudan. Senator Hassan.
4.
Senator Becerra.
4.
Senator Ibrahim. Senator Ibrahim. Senator Albright.
4.
Senator Thompson.
4.
Senator Herman.
4.
Senator Sanford. Senator Sanford. Senator Slack.
4.
Senator Rogers.
4.
Senator Boulder.
4.
Senator Frankie.
4.
Senator Horn.
4.
Senator Humanek. Senator Humanek. Senator Egbert. Senator Egbert. Senator Timmerman. Senator Timmerman. Senator Messer.
4.
Senator McDuffie.
4.
Senator Parsons.
4.
Chair Grosskopf.
4.
Senator Rhodes. Senator Rhodes. Senator Anderson.
4.
Senator Hollis. Senator Hollis. Senator Markowski.
4.
Senator Bramlett.
4.
Senator Crumpton.
Stay.
Senator Grouch.
4.
Senator Ledger.
4.
Senator Esparza.
4.
Alright, thank you very much. We'll now go back to the liaison, director, and justice confirmation. So would all our liaisons please come up, our new justice and our directors, please come up to the front. And if you could really quickly come up and tell them just your name, your class year, and your what you are.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm Lauren Allen. I'm chief of staff. I guess official title will now be director of marketing. I am class of 2011. And yeah, you're 13. So I'm Catherine Rosen, and I'm the liaison for the MSC, and I'm the director of HR there.
I'm Charles Windeman, Justice in Judicial Court, Senior Mechanical Engineering class at 09. My name is Julian Avila. I'm a graduate student in chemistry and biophysics. I'm the vice president for the University of First in the Graduate Student Council, and I am probably going to graduate in 2011.
I'm Natalie Hewitt. I'm also a graduate student on the Graduate Student Council, the Vice President of Finance of the Water Management Program, and fingers crossed I'm getting out in May.
I'm Terrence McClain. I'm class of 2012. I'm fitted to be the student.
Howdy, Jake Bradley, class of 2011, political science major. And we representing core leadership and the Aggie Band. Howdy.
Howdy.
My name is Andrew Nager. I'm class of 2011. And I'm the liaison between us and class councils.
Howdy.
Howdy.
My name is Scott Bowen. I'm a chemical engineering major from Houston, Texas, and I'm the loudest and proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2012. And I'm director of archives.
Jeez.
Here's the catfish.
Any questions?
After the meeting.
No,
do it now.
Seeing that there are no questions, and we're, without objection, we'll consider these all as a slate and approve. All those in favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you very much. Swear them in.
Love you, please raise your right hand. I, state your name.
I, Scott
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
The office of.
The office of Director of Archives.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
and at all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
And to promote the relations between students and those concerned with the university.
To promote the relationships between students and those concerned with the university.
Alright, thank you very much. We're now moving on to SB Hot 9 F30, MSC Renovation Project Funding Program Bill. Also the speaker the chair would advise that we move the presentation time for all old business to 5 minutes of presentation and 5 Q&A.
So moved.
Move second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. That passes. Alright, stay in order.
Alright, howdy Ags, we'll go
Howdy.
ahead this come up. There's a friendly amendment that you may have caught on that. This is, there we go. Alright, so we swapped the 3 thoughts between 4, and we made 3 to read. Per the fall 2009 MSU referendum, it is the official opinion of the Student Government Association that the student body does not agree with the current MSU innovation plan, reflecting a history of poor communication between the administration and the student body regarding the MSC. Next.
Okay, when we were looking at the website, MSC Living Traditions.tmu.edu, there's a screenshot, that's fine, go ahead. There's a couple screenshots, as you can see, there's no updates on this website, so any student that goes to that, there's nothing they can see. So what we wanted to do is we went to look at other universities and how they construct their project dates, and go to the next slide. And we saw that Harvard had really, really good, that's somewhere in there, maybe forward somewhere. 1, 2 more. Okay, here we go. Here's a screenshot of what Harvard is. They do it weekly. We're just asking for monthly updates. We're not asking for weekly, but they do weekly updates and do it really good. And here's a couple screenshots of what they do. And,
So just a few things about the site work. We're not asking, for a novel because we don't want to read a novel. We want to look on, and this is weekly. We're asking for every month, we get on the internet, read a few bullet points. Oh, good, they tore down the breezeway. They're working on stripping the stuff inside, whatever else they have going on. And if y'all want to find this, all you have to do is Google. I'll be on y'all's laptops. Google Harvard construction. Okay.
All right, basically what we're looking for in regards to the reports, as you can see right here, basically what they're doing, what they've got to do, and how they're coming along on the schedule. Basically, estimated date of completion. The reason why we need to have these correctly is because in case something changes, they move differently than what they're scheduled to move, they have to demolish something that wasn't originally planned, or they come up to some sort of glitch somehow where it's going to take longer than possible, or God willing, it takes a shorter amount of time possible. Basically, they can post that on the website and email the speaker, email the SVP, and then we can communicate with the student body as to the projects going along with the university as well. And plus, this can also be means to look at as a lay the foundation for other construction projects throughout the university. So that way, when, for instance, the new liberal arts building is built, we can update the students in the university as to what's going on in regards to that and to how much construction is taking place, etc.
Jess, would you like to add anything?
I mean, you're absolutely right about the accountability thing. If anything, the referendum that we had last year, which had 5,200 signatures, shows that there is a clear need for accountability on this project, and students are interested in it. Therefore, this is a good bill, and we need something like this to ensure that we represent students adequately.
And I'd also like to add, this is asking for administrators who, their job is to follow these construction projects, to prepare these. We're not directing this towards any student group or the executive branch or anything like that. And I guess for questions and stuff.
All right, thank you very much. Questions, starting out with Senator Herman.
Senator Herman, I'll curious. Who specifically are we all planning on compiling this report and giving it to us? Because that's going to take time and effort out of their days too.
One of the big things that I think we can look for in regards to that is look at, for instance, the people that are running construction, give updates, and then working with MSC and creating that website that would be necessary to give those monthly updates to where, and if anything urgent were to come along that they felt like the students need to know immediately, they could give the news out immediately. For instance, right now, the breezeway being, demolished. Obviously, if you look at it, you can see it, but if you're not necessarily on campus all the time or you're not nearby the MSC, you don't know what's going on. And so it allows, once again, for the accountability of what's going on and to allow us to know at what stage they are in construction. So that way, for those of us that really care about how it's coming along, what's going on in regards to, are they on schedule? Are we going to have to expect a delay? Are they moving ahead of schedule? That way they can post that in line information.
All we're seeking is parity with normal construction guidelines. Most construction projects of this magnitude, certainly much smaller than this, will have an update process for whomever is affected. If a company builds a new building, they will let their employees know what's going on, and we are the base of who's being affected by this project, and yet we have no official official notices, and that's what we need, is those official notices, because we're being affected by it.
All right, next, Senator
Madam Speaker,
Boulder.
point of information.
Yes.
Point of information, possibly to be stated at the MSC president with the chair's permission and consent. Is this already being done?
All right, the speaker would advise that speaking privileges be given to President Burns, so therefore we can ask that question. Moved and properly second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, directed towards you, President Burns.
Your question, Kyle, was, is this already happening? In order to answer that question, I would ask you all to go to the MSC project website, which is rmsc.camu.edu. I think you'll find that on the front page of that website, there is a link that says demolition has begun. It explains the demolition has begun, which you've seen if you walk by the building, but it also has pictures showing you what's going on over there. And a link to our Bond Construction website, which is our contractor, who's actually going through the building and taking pictures, and will be posting videos of webcam images that they're taking for security purposes, just so we can see inside the building. In terms of progress, we're only 3 months into a 36-month long project. There's not a whole lot to update anyone on at the moment, but whenever anything big does happen, it goes up on that website, and as we get further down the line and can show some tangible progress, that will be available online. Just one last point of information, we are more than willing to do whatever needs to be done to make that website work for students, so if there are suggestions, concrete suggestions that can be made to improve that website, we'd love to hear them, and we'll have someone on it. Obviously, there's not a full-time web designer just working on this project. We do have someone who does it, and we have a full-time job as well. So we're trying to make sure that we're doing what students need while also keeping in mind that we don't have a position to develop.
Madam Speaker, point of parliamentary inquiry. Because that was a point of information, that did not take away from question and answer.
You're absolutely right. It only took, we have 1 minute, 45 seconds into this, and we stopped it as soon as he asked for the
Thank you.
Sorry, one more, everyone. I have to make an example of you, Senator Herman. Make sure that you wait to be called on before you start asking your question or making your comment, and that would really help the order of the meeting. So, Senator Herman, please stand and make your point.
The president repeat the MSC construction
With the website?
It is ourmsc.stanford.edu. You can go to the website that is listed on that bill. It's, it will still take you to that website, but for simplicity's sake, we did change it to ourmsc.stanford.edu.
Senator Bell, do you have a question or a point?
I have a question.
All right, I'll put you on the list. Next, Senator Molnar.
Is it not possible to somehow address what she said?
Can we do that, wait?
Okay.
Thank you. Molnar, go for it.
My questions were, it seems like we have the information and we have an excellent bill that will make this communication communicated, but who are the specific point people on both the construction side, the MSC side, and the exec side who is going to be held responsible for disseminating this information?
Very briefly before that question is answered, this is the website that she was referring to, and you can see there are no regular updates. Only a single thing says demolition has begun. No actual project updates of note, and certainly nothing detailed enough to satiate any student who actually has an interest in the project's interest.
So in our enacted clause 4, I believe, we said that this should be sent to Mr. Seifield, who's the vice president for facilities. We're the student senate. We really can't hold anyone responsible for anything. We can just make recommendations, such as a lot of students would like to see how the MSC renovation progress is coming. So we are asking the school administrators and staff who are paid to follow these projects to line up contractors, see what we want to do with the facilities on the school, to provide updates. And this is all at university employees, not any students or student groups.
Senator Bates.
Brief follow-up here.
We don't have time.
Sarah Fitzgerald. So do y'all want to add on to the current website, or do you want to create like a new website?
The best thing to do here is to ensure that the communication resources that are already available are utilized to the best of their ability. And I think one way that would be very simple, based precisely on what we pointed out with the Harvard example, is to have actual updates dated with specific points of what's being demolished and what's being changed. For example, the art gallery, what's going on right around the art gallery, how that's being connected to the MSC, what's happening with the breezeway, what specifically is being done week to week, maybe month to month. That's what we're calling for, but hopefully week to week or even weekend to weekend to weekday would be preferred. All we need is something specific. We're spending like $100 million on this thing, and we need to make sure that someone takes 5 minutes out of each day just to put a couple of bullet points on a website. You know, bicycle air station relocated, that's the kind of thing that we need, but unfortunately, under demolition has begun, if that's the only thing you see, you think, my gosh, what are they doing to the MSC bicycle air station? Is that what we're spending $100 million on? So, you know, clearly we need more specific updates.
I think to answer your question though, in regards to what we do for the website specifically, I don't think we really care necessarily if we get a full new website or we just update on this website. We just want to see updates put out there to disseminate to the student body.
All right, that's all the time we have for Q&A.
Okay, I move to reopen
Can you
Q&A
stand
for a
and
period.
wait?
I move to reopen Q&A for a period of 5 minutes.
5 minutes, second it, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Division. Division, all right, all those in favor, please stand. Would you count? All those against, please stand. All right, thank you very much. That clearly does not pass. We'll now move into a period of debate on this piece of legislation, starting with Ms. Fairfield.
Chairfield's Constituency Affairs. Senators, last year, before many of you were in Senate, but I'm sure you will remember because you were here at A&M, a group consisting of myself and Senators Pulliam, Senator Russo, and actually a number of people in this room were indirectly or directly involved with it. Stephen Crumpley got 500 of them. We got 5,200 signatures. 5,200 signatures saying that students were opposed to the way the renovation plan was going. Now, That was a vote that we had, I should say, I'm sorry, to have a vote, and then the vote said that they're opposed to the way the renovation plan was going. But that was the general effect of it. What that meant was that students were not confident in the way that the plan was being proceeded with. I don't know if you remember, but when we had Dr. Marano as president, not just Dr. Marano,